if you guys are as pumped as I am that the New York Giants, the greatest football team of all time, has its only channel here on Chat Sports, go ahead and like this video because I'm fired up, you're fired up. Let's get to the mailbag, baby. Today, I got some questions, a six-pack mailbag. You asked, I'll answer, and let's get going with the fun. Coming up first is Christopher Tony, and he asks, Josh Gordon, wide receiver 1? A lot of rumors circulating about Josh Gordon being linked to the New York Giants as a potential free agent destination for the wide receiver who has asked the NFL to reinstate him back after some rules has changed due to the drug testing policy in the NFL. It's very important to remember and to highlight that there are ties with the New York Giants coaching staff, Joe Judge, and some of the staffers on the coaching staff to Josh Gordon, going back to their time with the New England Patriots in 2018 and 2019. The Giants didn't add a wide receiver during the draft, so adding a guy like Josh Gordon would be significant. If you just look at the raw numbers of a guy like Josh Gordon and you eliminate the name and the baggage, you'd be very, very impressed with the numbers that this guy has put up. A lot of eyes on the Giants this year for how players have been handled this offseason. That is the biggest question mark for me if I'm looking at a guy like Josh Gordon, because let's face the facts, folks. This is a guy who does carry some extracurricular activities with him off the field, and he's had many, many issues that we've highlighted in the past. And this offseason for the New York Giants has not been kind. Look, Aldrick Rosas, hit and runs, DeAndre Baker, gun charges. It's been really, really crazy for one Joe Judge. So the real question is Joe Judge willing to add yet another problem to this team before even having his first practice? So I don't think that Josh Gordon is going to be added to the New York Giants. But if you take a look at the depth chart with Josh Gordon, potentially, man, it is hard not to get impressed with that. Sterling Shepard, Golden Tate, Slayton on the outside with a Josh Gordon. Then you could split out Evan Engram. You're talking about matchup nightmares everywhere all over the field. Oh, and they got a running back by the name of Saquon Barkley that is probably the best running back in the entire NFL. So, in my opinion, I don't think they pursue Josh Gordon. I don't think it's that much of a position of need because you do have a plethora of weapons for this offense and Daniel Jones. So, let me know where you guys think he would fit in on the depth chart. And let me know also if you think the New York Giants should sign Josh Gordon. Type Y for yes and type N for no in the comments below. The next question comes in from Hasty Highlights. What is the best and worst case scenario possible for the New York Giants this upcoming season? So let me go ahead and give you the best case scenario. The best case scenario is this. Daniel Jones continues this trend of second-year quarterbacks that I've highlighted over the last couple of videos that I've done here for Chat Sports, and he enters that top tier of quarterback. You've seen it with Pat Mahomes, you've seen it with Carson Wentz, Jared Goff even, and Lamar Jackson over the last handful of seasons. Those quarterbacks in the second season that take a leap to the next level. Saquon Barkley is an absolute stud. He's a fantasy MVP. He's an MVP candidate in the NFL as well. The defense finishes in the top 15 as opposed to being a bottom half of the rankings in the NFL when it comes to total defense. There's always a team that surprises everybody in the NFL. Last year, the San Francisco 49ers had division odds of 7-1, 2 in the NFC West. They ended up going all the way to the Super Bowl. And if Sanders catches that pass, who knows? They might be the defending Super Bowl champions here. And there's always a team that fits that mold. A team that didn't make the playoffs the year prior that makes the playoffs the year after. So best case scenario, all goes well for the New York Giants, 10-6. The schedule is favorable, especially if you get out of those first 5 weeks not bearing yourself with a 1-4 start, 0-5 potential start. Then after that, it does ease up for the New York Giants. Now on the flip side, here's the worst case scenario. Offensive line hasn't improved. Nate Solder continues to be a liability there at the left tackle position. Daniel Jones continues to just gift wrap games away. Had about 30 turnovers in his first year as a starter for the New York Giants. Injuries absolutely destroy the team. That is something that you cannot ignore year in, year out. Teams do get injured, and usually it's not the hottest team entering the playoffs. It's the healthiest team entering the playoffs that makes the most noise. Worst case scenario also would be the Giants leaving the 2020 season with no answer at the quarterback position. I think it's a very, very important year for Daniel Jones and the New York Giants organization. You want to leave this season knowing that Daniel Jones has improved and he is the guy that has the keys to the kingdom for the New York Giants. But with all that being said, my prediction for worst case scenario is another 4-win season, and then you're going to see them completely clean house with the New York Giants. And that's where I'm at. Best case scenario, 10-6. Worst case scenario, 4-2. I want you guys to head on over and subscribe to this channel, the New York Giants channel here on Chat Sports TV. Please go ahead, like, subscribe to this channel. Let's continue to build on this new project that we have here at Chat Sports. Now, the next question comes from Hugo Xavier. Trade for Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams, the disgruntled safety for the New York Jets, the neighbors of the New York Giants, wants out of the Jets. Unless you've been living under a rock, he's made it very, very clear that he doesn't want to play for Adam Gase and the New York Jets. I don't think it's worth it for the Giants to bring him in. He's a hell of a player. He's probably a top 15 player in the entire NFL, non-quarterback, I should say. And he's a culture changer. But I think if you look at the Giants' defense, the secondary might be a strength of this team. You draft Xavier McKinney, a lot of people are saying is an absolute steal in the second round out of Alabama to fill the void of safety. Jabril Peppers, second year with the New York Giants, is a veteran back there. And they've added some pieces to the defensive side of the ball as well. So I think the defense is going to improve. And I don't think with the money that he is looking for, it's worth bringing in a guy like Jamal Adams. And I think it would also be a lot to give up for a guy because you would have to make a trade with the New York Jets. And you've already been fleeced by the New York Jets, giving a 3rd and a 5th round pick for one Leonard Williams, who we don't know if he's going to be on the team after his franchise tag goes up. So for me, I don't think the New York Giants should trade for Jamal Adams, but let me know what you guys think. Should the New York Giants trade for Jamal Adams? Type 1 for yes, type 2 for no, and let me know in the comments below what you think is going to happen with one Jamal Adams and if he ends up with Big Blue. Can the receiving core end up top 10 from Ida Bus? Now, the New York Giants have the fastest offense in the NFL per 40-yard dash times. That is faster than the Chiefs. It's faster than the Rams. It's faster than a lot of teams that you always think and perceive them to be fast, which they are. But the New York Giants have faster players at the skill positions. Daniel Jones has all the playmakers that one can ask for. And I know you're probably saying to yourself, Nick, on paper it doesn't matter. But if you look on paper at the names that the New York Giants have and the skill set that these players have, it is very hard to find another group of playmakers like the New York Giants in the entire NFL. Now, there are questions. Can the offensive line hold up? Can Daniel Jones not be a turnover machine? My guy has been bulking up. Reports came out that he put about 10 pounds of muscle this offseason, so maybe he could hold on to that football and not fumble every single time he gets hit. And there's matchup nightmares all over the field. Evan Engram is a hybrid safety. I think he's just below that tier of George Kittle, Travis Kelce, Zach Ertz. The only thing with Evan Engram is that he gets hurt. We need Evan Engram to play 16 games. Big season for Evan Engram, a guy who needs to stay healthy and is an absolute game wrecker for the New York Giants. You saw some of the upside with Evan Engram and Daniel Jones, that QB tight end combination last year, most notably that debut game against the Tampa Bay Bucks. And I think the Giants have a top 5 skill position group in the entire NFL. But like I said, it's up to Daniel Jones, it's up to that offensive line to make all these guys flourish. Who will be the Giants' leading receiver is what I'm asking you guys in 2020. If I had to guess, I'm probably going to go with one Sterling Shepard. I think Sterling Shepard should get over 1,000 yards, catch about 85 to 90 passes from Daniel Jones, and maybe hit the end zone a handful of times. So for me, the number 1 wide receiver for the New York Giants this year is going to be one Sterling Shepard. Question from Mike Clark. What are your thoughts on the Giants' O-line improvements in the draft and the offseason? So you have to assume, based on what they did, that it's going to get better because it can't get any worse. Per PFF last year, they were a top 20 offensive line in the NFL. All I'm asking them to do is creep up closer to 10 than to 20. You address a position of need at tackle by drafting a guy number 4 overall. And still, we always know that the jury is out on first-round picks. Half of them become all pros. Half of them end up flopping or getting traded or cut from the team that drafts them. But Solder is entering a very, very important season for him when he's looking later down the road. In 2021, if he's on the team with the New York Giants, you're looking at a north of $20 million cap hit. So he needs to ball out in a contract year. 3 draft picks addressing the offensive line in the 2020 NFL draft. And of course, Andrew Thomas coming out of Georgia. So I think if the offensive line can help protect Daniel Jones, it's only going to give him confidence. He's not going to have happy feet back there and always just looking around and holding the ball for too long. So I love what the New York Giants have had, and it can't get any worse. So I think that the New York Giants offensive line is going to improve. Last but not least, I found this question very, very interesting because of the name of the question. The person who asked the question, I should say. And it was one Cowboys Nation, a Cowboys fan lurking on the New York Giants. I see you. What will be the Giants' record? So, let's just take a look. 7th easiest schedule per opponent's win percentage from 2019. Of course, they got to get out of that month of September where it's a little bit of a tougher challenge for the New York Giants. But it's going to be interesting to see if home field advantage is even going to matter with all this corona stuff that is going around. I am optimistic about how the Giants offense is going to look. I am overly confident that they are going to be able to ball out. And I love what I saw out of Daniel Jones. And I think this team with that offense can steal some games and make some noise. A lot of questions on the defense, so I'm going to be just a little bit hesitant until I see what they've done with some of these improvements and these big additions that they brought in, James Bradberry, Blake Martinez, but there's still question marks as who's going to generate pressure on the quarterback. And I think, once again, you're looking at Daniel Jones. I think he's the biggest X factor probably in this entire division, in the entire NFC East, because if Daniel Jones is the answer for the New York Giants, not only can they potentially make noise this year, but you're setting yourself up for later down the line in a very, very talented division who a lot of people are basically saying it's a 2-team race between Philadelphia and Dallas. So their win total per a lot of sports books is 6.5, and I'm going to go over. I think they're going to go 7-9. That's my official prediction for the New York Giants as of June, late June. Let's see how training camp comes around, and we'll revisit that question once again, Cowboys Nation. But I want you guys to let me get an understanding of where your head's at. Over under 6.5 wins for the Giants. Type O for under. Type O for over, excuse me. Type U for under. My name is Nick Dais at The Lamb Shows, where you can find me. Once again, subscribe and like the video, and I'll catch you guys next time.